Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Brian here. I hope you are all doing well this morning. I'm not doing particularly bad. I'm still a little bit nasally, but it's getting better. I've been taking Alka-Seltzer Cold. That always helps me. Been a pretty good week for me. I apologize I haven't been uploading as much as I should. It's just been a rough week with work and everything. It's rough to upload. But I promise that next week I will not dog you. I will upload every single day. I'm sorry about the lack of uploading. But yeah, it's gonna be a really cool day. Probably gonna ask one of my friends if they want to hang out because it's supposed to go up into the 60s today in Pennsylvania. Now I know that that's scary. That's climate change. It's not supposed to do that. Which is true. I mean, it shouldn't be doing that, but it's gonna be in this. I think it's gonna be going up to 65 today, and it's also supposed to be like no wind and like it's gonna be sunny for a brief period of time today. So it's gonna be nicer out today, and I'm just looking so forward to it. I hate having to go outside and wear two jackets, wear pants, wear socks and sneakers or socks and boots, and have to put on gloves and stuff because it's just so cold. Like the one day I had to put on a freaking mask, like a face mask, not because I was sick, which I am sick, but not for that because simply it was so cold outside, and I hate the snow. Actually, I talk about it'd be cool to live in Alaska and Minnesota because they have low taxes and stuff. No, it wouldn't. The snow sends me right back to Pennsylvania. So yeah, it's pretty terrible. It was a rough week last week. A lot of snow and a lot of rain, a lot of sleet, and it was really cold too. So it was rough. But we're getting a break this weekend. Apparently it's gonna flurry again on Sunday night. But it's maybe gonna be a rainstorm. But I'm just looking so forward to late March, April, May, June, and like the spring months. Like that's the best time of the year. Spring, like when it's just like, I'm not a huge summer fan. I mean, I do like the summer better than the winter because it's warm, and I like summer better than fall. But spring, to me, spring is the best time of the year. Spring and maybe early fall, when it's when it's not hot, when it's not cold though, when it's maybe like 62 as a high, maybe partly cloudy. Like that's the best kind of weather to me. And not like when it's like 100, it's 90 degrees outside, but it's very sunny and no wind gusts and high humidity, so it feels like 110. Or when it's 30 degrees outside, but it feels like 7 because it's so cloudy and windy and no humidity. I mean, it's just terrible. I like it like a good in between, maybe like 60 degrees and 65 degrees, maybe even 70 degrees, and just not windy, nothing like that. Just partly cloudy, a little bit cloudy, a little sunny, and that's the perfect kind of weather to be in. But yeah, it's just me ranting now, talking. So today I want to talk about in this video about Dean Phillips, the Democratic congressman and the presidential candidate, and what my thoughts are on him, what I think his chances are, and what I think is ultimately going to end up happening with him in this race. So, as always, let's get right into it. Before we get into the video, I hope that you will consider subscribing to the channel. We're at 95 subs. Thank you all so much. 5 more to go, and we'll be at 100. And so, I hope you'll consider subscribing and leaving a like on this video. So, let's get right into it. So, Dean Phillips is currently starting his third term as a congressman, and he's a Democratic congressman, and he's running for president as a Democrat. Not many people know this, because the media, and the woke, and the DNC refuse to acknowledge this man. They're ignoring this man. They're making him seem like he's not even a candidate, which he very much is. So he initially stands as much a shot as RFK Jr. did when he was running as a Democrat, or as Marianne Williamson does. It's the same premise. When you're not getting any debate access, when you're not being allowed to air your ads on TV, when none of the major medias, at least majority of them, will not do debates, when the DNC won't do debates, when they will not interview you and talk about your candidacy, and when the own President of the United States refuses to debate you, the frontrunner, how much of a chance are you going to stand? It's really the same case for the Republicans. I mean, Trump wouldn't go to the debates. So what happened? The Republicans really didn't stand a chance. You have Dean Phillips, who's trying to fight for the Democratic nomination, but Joe Biden won't debate him because he's scared that he might get called out. Now listen, there's a lot I like about Dean Phillips. I like it how he's not going out insulting President Biden, President Trump. I like it how he's calling them out on their policies and their records, but not insulting them, saying, "Oh, Joe Biden, you're senile and you're an old man, and Donald Trump, you're a fat old man," or Donald Trump, you're an orange old man, or Joe Biden, you can't even stand, or Sleepy Joe Biden, or take out your dentures, Joe. just like, I like it how he's not insulting the other candidates. I like how he's calling them out on their policies and on their records. But then there's a lot I don't like about it. I mean, he wants to bail out students. Like, listen, I feel bad for students, I do, with college debt, but that's not fair to people that already have paid off their debt, got a scholarship to go to college, or could afford to go to college, or didn't go to college at all. That's not fair to them to have to pay someone else's debt off. I'm going to be in debt next year, but that's a totally different video. But, you know, Dean Phillips is trying. He stands for Medicare for All, which I disagree with, but then, you know, he's an old school Democrat, too. He believes that freedom of speech should be a thing. I mean, he's you know, he's better than Biden. I would much rather have Dean Phillips than Joe Biden. At least Dean Phillips can at least walk around without not having to have a scripted speech. Dean Phillips actually cursed at the media the other day, and now the Democrats are making it seem like, oh, this guy cursed at the media, which you shouldn't. You shouldn't curse. But he was initially asked, "Do you think that you're going to cause President Biden to lose his re-election and cause Donald Trump back in the White House?" And he got irritated because he's asked it all the time when the media acknowledges him. Instead of asking him on, what do you think the U.S. government could do to get the inflation down or get the debt down? What do you think the U.S. government could do to secure the southern border? What do you think the U.S. government could do to give people more health care or make the military stronger? A question like that, he gets the question of, do you fear that you're going to cost democracy? You're going to cost President, which that's a totally different story, but do you fear you're going to cost President Biden the White House? And Dean Phillips just said, why don't you fucking ask him that question? Which is true. Why don't you go ask Joe Biden? Are you scared you're going to lose to Donald Trump? Because, on average, you are 5 to 10 points behind him in polls. Just saying. Hey, are you going to do that with him? You going to ask Joe Biden that? No, you're not. Now, Dean Phillips got an Andrew Yang endorsement. You'd think Andrew Yang would endorse a third party, but you know what? Dean Phillips is about unity and stuff, but you know what? That's a major endorsement. You know, it's just... Dean Phillips... I wish Dean Phillips the best of luck. Now, my thoughts on him is... He did a lot better in the New Hampshire primary than everyone thought he was going to. He was expected to get about 2% of the vote. He ended up getting 19%. Again, came nowhere close to winning. Lost to President Biden by over 60 points. Which I want to say this. They're counting the delegates for Biden in that he won, but they weren't going to count it for Dean Phillips or Cenk Uygur if they won. It's just ridiculous. Or Marianne Williamson. But he did a lot better. I don't think he's going to be the Democratic nominee. I think the Democratic process with them not doing debates and the ballot access and stuff is not going to work out, so I don't think he'll be the nominee. But I'm hoping that he can have a strong impact, and maybe the Democrats will realize that they're not listening to the American people. You know, the reason why Trump's doing well is not because he's likable, anything like that. The reason why Trump is doing well is simply because he's talking about issues, not that he's going to do anything about it, but he's talking about issues that are affecting Americans, like high taxes, high inflation, poor wages, the unsecure border, the jobs that are being lost in this country, stuff like that. He's talking about this stuff, where President Biden isn't. RFK Jr. is talking about this stuff. That's why he's gaining traction, which I think he would do something about it. The reason why President Biden is not, even Nikki Haley, who I don't like, she's gaining traction talking about issues. The reason why President Biden is not gaining traction, why he's losing it, is because he's not talking about these issues. He's too busy talking about student debt bailout, or, supporting Israel and Ukraine, or, let's turn America into a socialist country, instead of talking about issues that are actually affecting Americans. So my thoughts on Dean Phillips is, I think he's going to be the runner-up in the Democratic primary. I think he will do better than Williamson and Uygur, but I don't think he's going to beat President Biden, unfortunately. Hey, so, that's it for this video, everyone. I want to thank you for watching. Once again, these are just my opinions. So, as always, the usual, like, share, favorite, subscribe, leave a comment, and most importantly, subscribe, even though I already said that. Alright, everyone, God bless you, stay safe, go out and enjoy the weather if you're in Pennsylvania. If you're in some other part of the world where it's warm, enjoy it. If you're in the cold, get inside and stay warm. Alright, everyone, stay safe. Bye.